It's Spirit Week. Either you love it or you hate it, I think. That's what's on my mind today. Hi, I'm Chuck. I'm an educator in the STL with a new job this year and a new commute. This podcast is you along the ride. You on the ride along with me. This is my drive time diary for today. So Spirit Week. In elementary and middle school, it's like the same time of the year. I didn't even realize this was really a thing. I didn't remember it from when I was an actual student. But we had Red Ribbon Spirit Week at the middle school I was at the last 6 years. And it was, I think, coming up in October also. So same time of year as when we have Homecoming Spirit Weeks, which is what I am wrapping up on the day this releases. It's Thursday for me, but it's going to release on Friday. And I think there's two educators. People that get into Spirit Week and also have fun with it and
take the next right
use it to make sure that
the left lane to take the I-270
they notice students and use it as like a fun thing to also make it fun for you to come to work also. And then there's other teachers who spend all of Spirit Week just being mad that kids are a little bit distracted and
use the left lane to take
everybody's messing around with their little outfits and
I-270 West.
Weird funky things happen because kids are amped up on their hormones and their excitement and energy from
West, then take exit 26A.
Wearing different clothes and being dressed differently and drawing costumes on ourselves and all this stuff. So there's some teachers that really get into this and other teachers that I think hate it, and I don't think there's really an in-between. The in-between might be how you show that or don't show it, but I think there is really just those two. But the question is, like, is it good for the kids? Is it good for the school? The teachers that get into Spirit Week, they would probably say that Spirit Week is good for the school because it helps kids to connect to their school more. It's for school spirit, proponents would say, you know. Just get into coming to school. I've never specifically tracked attendance rates on Spirit Week, but I think that would be really interesting. I'm sure that proponents of Spirit Week and administrators that are proponents of it would say that the attendance rate is higher during Spirit Week. And I don't know. What I think about Spirit Week as far from the student's perspective is usually kids that are going to get into Spirit Week are also the kids that are always there. I don't see typically a kid who has less than good attendance also get into Spirit Week and like show up all 5 days that week, that kind of thing. But it could happen. It could work for some kids. But there's definitely memory making happening this week. Lots of my memories from high school come from many of my memories from high school. They come from that homecoming week. Thinking about getting ready for the dance, how that looked during football season and what we were doing on the practice field. The 70s outfit I wore with I didn't have a fro, my friend did, but I had a shirt that had like a zipper that went down kind of far, and I had my 18-year-old chest hair so I had like 5 hairs sticking out, and that's a memory that I have from Spirit Week. Was it really specific to learning or about learning? Not at all, but it was a fond memory that I have about school, and I think besides the learning, that's part of our job as educators is to build warm memories around school, to make a good experience out of something that is mandated by law, the education part, and most people just send their kids to the public school, as we've discussed before. So take in what some people say, what some kids say as, I'm just here because I have to be here, and trying to turn that into more than a awful experience, I think is also part of the social contract that people have with public education. Make them want to be here, make it fun. So then the other side, the opponents, who are like, this is nonsense, this is ridiculous, why are we doing Spirit Week? It all comes down to kids being distracted. When I had the student earlier this week pop out the green blinds sunglasses and wear those for whatever that Spirit Day was, that had not happened yet this year, where a kid popped up silly sunglasses and was trying to wear them during class. Aside from that, though, this week I haven't really had any other ridiculousness beyond normal freshman ridiculousness. I think what might also be happening at Spirit Week time of the year is whatever freshmen were being chill and calm because they weren't comfortable yet, some of those layers start to come off, and I think also if you look at discipline data, referrals also tick up at the end of October toward the beginning of November. So are kids being more ridiculous, or are we the teachers just getting over it of what is just typical teenage behavior that we've been keeping it together for the first 2 months of school and doing all of our routine and norm building and pre-correcting, and people just get over it and they're like, that student's not doing anything different, it's time for referrals. Is that the thing that we're actually reacting to, that emotional response? Or should we really just get rid of Spirit Week? Is it doing its purpose? I think the opponents to Spirit Week would say this is not adding value to our school. An economist's approach would say if it's not adding value to our school, then don't do it. So I am currently sort of dressed up for Rock and Roll Day, so you can tell where I go with that. And I said a moment ago, as part of our social contract in the society, we're supposed to make some lemonade out of lemons, whatever that means for our school community. And so I also brought a guitar today. So I'm here for Spirit Week. I'm also going to be dancing in the assembly with a student at the pep assembly tomorrow. I met this person when they came up to my class for the first time after we got paired up, and that is supposedly to raise money for our weekend on wheels that we have, which is just food to send home to the kind of families that mostly the kids only eat when they're at school, that kind of group. So in the name of raising money for that, I will be dancing for 16 bars at the assembly later on Friday, and I don't know, I'm here for that. Fun is fun. I am not always a fun person, so I also recognize that I need systems of fun. So if I can interact in a system of fun that is already established, then that makes me more comfortable and less awkward, and I don't have to rely on my cringe, as I talked about a couple episodes ago. So if you are also a teacher who maybe is less naturally fun, a little more serious like myself, I would encourage you to acknowledge that systems of fun are okay and endorsed, and even if you don't participate in them, at least try to evaluate the good that might be there for it. And maybe we won't have a Spirit Week next year, but that's all I got for today. This stream of consciousness about Spirit Week is over. Thanks for listening again on this drive. You can catch me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Find me on Twitter X at Chuck C. Baker, Instagram at Mr. C. Baker for Math, or for this podcast, it's at Drive Time Diary. And I will see you on the next drive. Hopefully you're not sitting in the same traffic I am. You're still here? Amazing! Hey diary listeners, I just had to add an update. I'm driving home at the end of Spirit Week now. The teams are all starting to play their matches right now. I'm going to a family soccer game. The big under the lights soccer game for school. It's going to start about an hour and a half from now.
In half a mile, use the left lane to take exit 10A.
I'll be cheering on my own kiddos at their game under the lights. But I just want to say I had a fantastic Spirit Week. I just had a great time watching the kids get into dressing up, and I gave an algebra test today. Yes, sir. Friday of Spirit Week, homecoming week, I gave an algebra test. And in my first class, it went so well. My typically kind of crazy class was kind of crazy. Did not go as well in there, but that's kind of par for the course for that group anyway. So they had a little bit more trouble getting it together today, but once we got our initial wiggles out, we were fine. And then I haven't looked at the class average for my last class of the day, but it was fine. Things were fun. I actually asked a couple of students yesterday, I think, what they thought about Spirit Week. If kids thought it was a distraction, or if they could tell that it was a distraction for kids, or if it was good for kids getting into school. And they, without reservation, said they thought it was good for getting kids to be at school and be into school, which was the hunch I had. And I was asking honor students this, but they also seem really like they know what's up, and if kids are acting a fool, these two young ladies I was talking to, they would know that too. At our pep assembly today, it was so fun just to watch the kids bonding and just playing little games together, and getting to interact with the students also. It was just so fun. Positive school experiences, that's part of the contract here that we sign up for. And so I thought this was a really fun week. Did some of the walls get a little potentially damaged from decorations where kids use duct tape? Yes. Something to do better at next year for the school, for sure. Did a student, was a student gone for 60 minutes, according to one of my friends, doing who knows what? Yeah. That might have had a homecoming effect today. But all in all, my first homecoming spirit week at this school. It was super positive. Like, the pep assembly was completely run by the students. That was really cool to watch too. Like, there's so many student run things at this school where the adults do a lot of setting up beforehand and making sure that the kids know what to do, and that there's like an agenda and a script and whatnot, and things are all organized and prepared for, and then the kids just run with it. And it was just so cool. It was so cool to watch, to kind of just get to be a part of, instead of playing police cop like I've done in the past at all school assemblies. Just so fun, and an opportunity to have positive interactions with kids that I don't always have that positive, amazing bonding experience in math class specifically. So it was a W. It was a dub for sure today. Also, I won a waffle maker at this teacher game we played during the pep assembly. So that's giving to me Waffle Wednesdays, and I don't know specifically what that's going to be, but it feels like a class incentive that if you get class points or whatever, that we make waffles and we eat them on Wednesdays with this waffle maker I won during the teacher game. That just sounds super fun to me, and that's what's on my mind. If you're listening on Friday, have a great weekend. If you're listening on whatever other day, have a good drive. We'll see you on the next drive. This is Chuck. This is the Drive Time Diary. Peace.